The topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the host and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Geek Skeezers and Googleization Show. I'm your host, Ira Wolf, and I'm here with my co-host, Keith Compagna. We're actually not here together. We're actually in a couple states across. I also want to make sure we thank our sponsors, JobVite, who has a lot of exciting news this week, and Success Performance Solutions. Our guest this week is Venkat, and I'm probably going to really screw this name up, Janaparaddy from Jobiak. Hopefully that wasn't too bad. We're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics, as Keith knows, Google for Jobs. As you've probably heard over quite a few recent episodes, many companies are really struggling to use and understand Google for Jobs. It's surprising when I'm speaking at conferences and with so many clients, how many people still think Google for Jobs operates like a job board, such as Indeed or Career Builder, and then and it doesn't. So we're going to hear a lot about that today. And then just about a month ago, we talked about this last week with David Searn from Haley Marketing. We talked about Indeed-A-Geddon came along, and staffing firms and recruiters were essentially thrown under the bus by Indeed. And now staffing struggling how to get Google for Jobs to work for them. So this is really good timing when we had this, and looking forward where Venkat's company, Jobiak, that's Jobiak, comes in. He's certainly a successful entrepreneur. This is his third company. He started, sold to us very successfully. So where there's a need, there's an entrepreneur like Venkat to step in. He'll join us in just a few minutes, but we got some catching up to do with Keith.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed. JobVite, another job company, is making the news. Keith?
Fantastic news, really. This is something that we've been I've been told to keep quiet for a while, and
I can tell that. You didn't even tell your good buddy me.
I mean, I tried, but I couldn't do it. But the massive successful announcement was that JobVite has not only been acquired by a enterprise software focused private equity firm called K1. But as soon as they, the behind-the-scenes stories, as soon as they worked out the details, they gave our CEO, Dan Finnegan, the green light to acquire Canvas, which was previously a partner of ours. And Canvas, a.k.a. JobVite Text, Ira, you were there next to me when we announced the partnership I announced the partnership on LinkedIn. Very massively successful partnership. So now we have our text messaging brought inside, and now we have also acquired two more companies, Telemetry, which sits on the front end of recruitment marketing in terms of working with clients on that side, and RollPoint, which is a best-of-breed software for internal mobility and internal referral practices and software. So the concept JobVite has always been bringing to the marketplace is the idea of a platform that recruiting is no longer just the end product of an applicant tracking system, but that recruitment actually extends far into the marketplace, involving candidate engagement, job board positioning, job positioning in general. And it's just simply like there's nothing else like it in the market. So it's exciting to be at a Silicon Valley company that's exploding. And now we're full of rocket fuel. So it's been a pretty wild couple of weeks.
Yeah, that'll be great. And we'll get Venkat's take on that as well. He's certainly at the cutting edge of things, and he's got a new product too that I know they're about to launch. So here I am. I'm actually the beauties of technology and the challenges. We're supposed to be home and doing this in my studio at home, and I say this tongue-in-cheek, got stuck in Florida. Although it's actually cold and rainy today, so not too bad to be doing, for prepping for this. But we're headed back home tonight to the snow and the ice. Hopefully that's cleared off a bit up and up at home.
Snowing pretty good right now. Which, funny enough, we, you and I are going to be crossing paths because for next week's show, I'm going to be out in Las Vegas for the Recruiting Trends and Talent Tech Conference. So once again,
have a lot more to talk about.
Never a dull moment.
Yeah, just endless. So we got a busy show. I got a ton of stuff. I know you'll have a ton of things to talk about with Jobiak too. Just want a couple reminders here. We are live. So you can call us at 561-623-9429. That's 561-623-9429. Any questions, comments for Keith, me, Venkat? What's on your mind? Things going on, future of work. By the way, Keith, I saw Robbie. He sends his regards. Robbie Goulry.
Yeah.
Saw him. Spent last Thursday with him down at Leadership Atlanta, and he's actually got a new gig as well as Engaged Talent going on. So that'll be fun. But we had a great day down there, and heard actually the speakers before me were somebody from AT&T talking about the Internet of Things, how that's changed. It wasn't just specific work, but that was my topic. The future of work is your job in jeopardy was the title. Very interesting. The guy right before me was the CIO, the Chief Information Officer for the city of Atlanta, and he talked about their preparation for the Super Bowl. The cybersecurity. So it was really good. And then there was me, and it was a good topic. Don't forget, visit our websites. You can visit Success Performance Solutions, that's successperformancesolutions.com. You can register for our Google for Jobs School. We have a little kind of brief training for anybody who's trying to figure out what it is and how to get started. And then today we're gonna talk about an alternative to make it a little easier than what's even in my course. To have my new white paper seems to be picking up steam. About Google My Business. That's another Google tool that recruiters should be using on a regular basis. And the good news, it's free. They just have to learn how to use it. And of course, you can sign up for our podcast and get our shows, which are on iHeart, iTunes. I don't think it's on Spotify yet, but it will be. And there's about 25 other podcasts it's on. So, anything else before we dive into get Venkat on here?
No, but it's interesting that you mentioned the CIO of Atlanta. A good colleague of mine who happens to be the CIO of the Allentown city was on NBC Nightly News talking about cybersecurity.
Oh, nice.
So pretty well.
Yeah, big topic. So absolutely.
Oh yeah.
So I think it's time. To bring Venkat in here. He's founder and CEO of a company called Jobiak. I've mentioned that a couple times. He's been an entrepreneur for 20 years, kind of really deep knowledge in the HR tech space. So, again, timely with what's going on with your company, Keith, and we'll see get his take on what's now and what's popping up next. He's had a couple previous companies. One's called was Expert Tech, technology consulting staffing company. Was acquired by a UK equity group, and then the one prior to Jobiak was I think I pronounce it right, Jobiak, and it was a social jobs platform, which is how sort of how JobVite got started, wasn't it? More using social media. Social recruiting, So
we like to think we're the first job invitation done through social media, social network.
So a little bit of overlap, so there'll be good conversation there. So Venkat, welcome to the Geeks, Geezers, and Googleization show.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me. Great to meet you guys.
Yeah, my pleasure. So let's just dive in there, Venkat. Hey, by the way, how close did I get to pronouncing your name correctly?
You got that right. Not many people get that right, but you got it right.
Yeah, I've been practicing. I stumble over geek skeezers and Googleization every week. So
I can see that.
I do that. So that was the first thing Keith asked me. It's like, how am I going to get through all those names? So tell us, you obviously had a vision. You saw something that I basically saw an opening. I just didn't create a company around it. When Google for Jobs announced their change about almost 2 years ago, I guess, maybe a year and a half, you saw an opportunity. So tell us a little bit about that, how it got started, and then we'll talk about where it's going and challenges.
Sure. So as you know, Google launched their own job search engine called Google for Jobs in 2017. I've been doing investments in startups at the time. I've been wanting to do something different after my 2 startups. So there was a lot of excitement among job seekers as well as employers when Google launched Google for Jobs. And they're kind of tired of paying a lot of money to job boards and job aggregators. But soon they realized, it's tough to get their postings on Google for Jobs. It's mainly because Google expects you to put certain piece of code. They're not like SEO meta tags. It requires a skilled developer to get the code into the job posting. That's when I realized there is a tremendous opportunity to help employers. So we started Jobiak to, in a sense, automate the entire coding process. Today, we've been live for 4 months. Employees don't have to worry about touching their servers or putting any code. It's a pure AI machine learning platform. We automate the entire coding process. So without having to write a single piece of code, whether you have 5 jobs or 100 jobs or 5,000 jobs, you can get them all published in less than 2 minutes using a platform. So far we've been really, really fortunate. The timing is great. As I said, it's been 4 months. The market has been very positive. Lots of employees are using it. Initially, we thought we were going to get a lot of SMB and staffing companies, but surprisingly, we are getting a significant traction from large-scale enterprise companies who have 3,000 to 5,000 jobs, and also we are getting a ton of partnership calls from ATSs and recruitment agencies as well as recruitment marketing platform. So far it's been great. I think Google for Jobs is doing really well. They still have a long way to go, but I think everything is looking pretty positive.
So let's go back. Just to make sure everybody's on the same page here. So, and I haven't figured out how to, I keep trying to wordsmith this, but there's still an assumption when we talk about Google for Jobs that it's another job board or jobs. Well, it's a job search engine, but I don't think people understand the difference between that and Indeed, where you can go and directly post a job, where on Google for Jobs you can't. Are you finding? Are you finding when you're getting these calls from companies, whether it's a small business or large enterprise, do people really understand what the difference is?
No, not really, because as you said, a lot of employers are coming to us, especially SMBs who don't have a career site and they don't know where to post the job. So when we did our initial public, we only accept job URLs. So we were thinking most employees have a career site and their jobs are on their career site. But soon after 1 month, we realized lots of SMB and staffing companies, they just want to post jobs on our platform and push them to Google. So they were initially asking questions, how can I post these on Google? As you said, Google is not a job posting. It's more like a job search engine, some way similar to Indeed, but Indeed originally used to crawl jobs from all websites, but eventually they started allowing employees to post jobs. But Google is not doing that. It's a pure job search engine, and their goal is to send traffic from Google to employers' career site. Very, very similar to websites. Think like this. They don't help you build websites. They help you search for companies, and when you find something that you like, you click on it, they send you the traffic straight to the company site. So in a similar way, Google is doing job search engine is exactly the same as what they've been doing, except they expect you to put a lot more code into it, which is a little bit difficult for HR and talent acquisition professionals.
Right, and when you're talking about code, and for anyone who's listened to me, and even my course, I talk about schema. There's a schema for job. There's a job schema, and it's a coding that has to be put on every job listing, not just the job board. So is Jobiak, if when you said you're getting calls from the SMBs, which for those who don't know is a small medium-sized business, or staffing. And they do not have a career board, career site themselves. Is Jobiak kind of an alternative to that for if they don't have one?
Yes, we are right now. So since we launched our public beta, we have now developed that feature so employees can now come to our site, either enter the job or come up with a Word document or PDF. In that case, it's like a direct apply. We host the job, and when candidates apply for those jobs, we send the resumes to the employer. So you don't have to have a career site. You can come and post the job at our site, either using a PDF, or you can also enter the job by yourself.
So, Keith, I think did you have a question before?
No, my
Okay.
question. Yeah, no, I'll hold off here. You guys are on a roll here.
Yeah. So I know, Venkat, I'm doing some audits for companies. I call them the candidate experience audit, but a lot of it's looking at their application. Why they're not getting more applications, and again, within that, most people don't even know that they're not listed in Google for Jobs. So a little plug for Jobiak. I don't remember the exact web page. I think it's on your homepage. But if you go to Jobiak, that's JOBIAK.ai. Right about the middle of the page, there's actually a place there that you can put a URL for one of your job listings, and it will determine one is if it's in Google if it's showing up in Google for Jobs, and what factors are do you have all the elements to meet Google's criteria? Am I correct? Is that how that's being used?
Yes, so we have two tools. One, ouryoursjobsongoogle.com. It's a website we've designed for people who don't know whether their jobs appear on Google. There's been a lot of confusion. Some employees think their jobs are on Google, but not realizing they're coming through LinkedIn or job boards or job aggregators. So we built this machine learning tool. As an employee, you can come and enter your site name, and using our advanced machine learning technologies, we can tell whether your jobs are on Google. If they are they coming straight from career sites? Are they coming from job boards? So we help them determine that. Our goal is to have jobs go straight from Google to the career site, not through job boards or job aggregators. And also employers, anyone can try it for free. We help any employer, whether you're small or large scale, you can post 3 jobs. You can come, as you said, come to our homepage. There is a try page, either enter a PDF or a URL, and post a job, post up to 3 jobs without no strings attached. And as I mentioned earlier, it just takes 2 minutes. If you have, whether it's in PDF or they're sitting on your career site, we can have them appear on Google for Jobs instantaneously.
Okay, so there's a couple things embedded in there. So one is getting it posted on Google for Jobs. Now, I know I have a lot of clients that they'll go up and they'll look for a few jobs and they'll see some and not others. So there are multiple ways that you can get picked up to go to Google for Jobs. So my recommendation is, and certainly for a staffing firm or a large organization, this could be overwhelming, but they almost have to check that every job is being pulled into it, because sometimes they're pulled in by a third-party integrator, and a lot of times those integrators are sites that they're not even familiar with, and the job seekers aren't familiar with. They're not. Well, Indeed definitely is not pulled in because that's a pretty well-known fact that Indeed's jobs will not show up in Google for Jobs. But Career Builder, LinkedIn, Monster, and a lot of the other job boards. So sometimes the company seems to be, they've pulled 2 or 3 jobs up, and the jobs are showing up. But again, unless you're using the schema or a platform like you're offering, then that's it's a problem.
Yeah, agreed. Sorry, go ahead, Kate.
No, I'm sitting back here listening. Venkat, I'm the kind of guy that sits back and thinks about what it's like in the marketplace. And, even when I've joined Ira at some of his local events and we're talking, I see the HR people's eyeballs roll in the back of their heads because all of this talk of coding and schema and Google, it just seems so foreign to the human resources community. And my snicker there was based off of the idea that this is something that people have to embrace, because I can't for the life of me see Google slowing down or taking their foot off of the gas here with Google for Jobs. It just seems like it's a fantastic opportunity that I'm afraid most people will see as an inconvenience.
Yeah, that's been the biggest problem. Google is not really advertising this platform yet. They are live in about 100 countries with 8 languages. They still have a long way to go. But I'm sure Google is going to do something about helping employers. But today, as you said, it's a struggle. It takes any employer. I've seen employers trying to do it themselves, and it takes good 4 to 6 weeks. Not only putting the code, Google now has this real-time indexing API, that's how we are able to publish every job in less than 2 minutes. It's a great feature Google announced, but it takes more time for employees to integrate with this new Google Index API. That's the reason the adoption has been slow. Hopefully, Jobiak is going to help all these employers. And even the applicant tracking systems, a lot of them are jumping into this. Significant of them have this technology enabled. So most of them are offering as a free service to publish all of their jobs on Google for Jobs. So that's helping. But there's still almost 50% of their ATSs don't have this technology built in yet. And that's one of the reasons, as I said, we were surprised. We weren't really expecting large-scale enterprise companies coming to Jobiak because their applicant tracking systems do not have this technology built in yet. They're coming to us and they want to publish their jobs. So one important thing, Ira and Keith, is what we are noticing is about 18% of the jobs really get published because job boards and aggregators are expensive. So historically, if you take a company that has 1,000 jobs, they only publish about 100 to 200 of them on job boards. The remaining 800 jobs don't really get any visibility. They're sitting on their ATS or Career Builder. Google for Jobs, that's where we tap into. We actually help get candidates for all of them. Not those 200, it's all 1,000. And that's the reason enterprise companies are coming to us, every single one of them, saying we want all of it. Push all of our 2,000 jobs on Google for Jobs so that we get candidates for all of them. So some of our customers, which we are using, they're getting like 5 times more than they're used to because every single job is on Google for Job. And we are very, very cheap in terms of the pricing. That's one reason employers are being very opportunistic to publish their jobs. So that's really the key play here is that 80% of the jobs that are not getting published on job boards or LinkedIn, those are the jobs that are going to get significant value as a result of Google for Jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So we're listening to Venkat Janaparaddy from Jobiak. You're listening to the Geek Skeezers and Googleization show. We're talking about Google for Jobs. I've got a ton of more questions. We've been talking about how to get there, what the difference between that and a job like Indeed or Career Builder is. But we're going to be taking a very quick break here. We got to thank our sponsors, JobVite and Success Performance Solutions. We will be right back in 2 minutes.
Behind everything you're searching for is something you're actually looking for. When you search with the real Yellow Pages, you get more than a contractor. You get a whole new curb appeal. It's not just getting directions to a dry cleaner with YP.com. It's rescuing an old favorite from the back of the closet. And it's more than finding a locksmith with YP.com on your mobile. It's getting to sleep in your own bed. Whatever it might be, there are more ways to search and more ways to find exactly what you're looking for with the real Yellow Pages, YP.com, and YP.com on your mobile, only from AT&T.
What's up, everyone? This is Keith from the Geeks, Geezers, and Googlization Show, powered by JobVite. JobVite knows career paths are made by people, not by open job requisitions. JobVite's platform ties recruitment marketing directly to applicant tracking and onboarding, creating continuous candidate engagement that effectively connects recruiters with qualified passive candidates. Used by over 50,000 recruiters placing over 1 million jobs, JobVite's platform impacts every company in every industry. Check us out at jobvite.com.
Listen carefully. Up to 9 out of 10 job candidates visiting your company career page leave before completing an application. You heard that right. 90% of candidates who want to apply for a job at your company don't. That's just plain crazy, especially in today's tight labor market. Candidate experience matters. Stop turning candidates away. Let Success Performance Solutions help. Call us at 800-803-4303 or register at successperformancesolutions.com/W4CY. Schedule a no-obligation consultation and get special access to insider tips to recruit faster and hire smarter.
Welcome back to the Geeks, Geezers, and Googlization Show. We are live today with Venkat Janaparaddy. You can call us at 561-623-9429, 561-623-9429 if you have any questions about Google for Jobs, the future of work, marketing trends, what's going on in the job market, labor market. Here also with Keith Compagna. Hey, Venkat, when we left off, we were talking about basically the markets. That's a pretty outstanding statistic that 80% of jobs that companies have listed on their career sites don't necessarily get into Google for Jobs. So there's a lot of work to do. But I guess there's still a lot of confusion because when you go to Google for Jobs, and somebody sees your job listing, there are multiple tabs occasionally that you can apply through LinkedIn, you can apply through Career Builder, Monster, and then there's hundreds, if not thousands, of other jobs boards that you can apply through. But the one that doesn't show up if you don't have an active career site is the company's career site. Is Jobiak addressing that at all? I mean, if someone wants to apply for a job, it comes up as a CNA or a director of sales, whatever it is, and it comes through Jobiak. It is the button that they would apply through. Are they applying through Jobiak or are they applying through the job board?
That's a great question, Ira. So our goal, the reason why we started Jobiak, is that apply to say apply on company name. So the apply goes straight. If you use Jobiak today, except those who do not have a career site, the initial SMBs I talked about, most of the mid-size and large-scale companies do have a career site. So when you use Jobiak, it will not say apply on Jobiak. It will say apply on Staples, apply on CVS, whatever the company name is. And when you click on that button, it goes straight to the company career site. That's our biggest advantage. We recommend employers to publish jobs directly from their career site to Google for Jobs because 64% of the candidates actually prefer applying for jobs on your career site than on some job boards where the apply process is really broken. So that's the biggest feature that we offer today is direct apply. as opposed to going through these job boards. Like today, if you look at Glassdoor or any of the job boards, you click on Glassdoor and then you land on Glassdoor side, and then you click on apply there, then you land on some other side. It's pretty complicated process. So our value proposition is direct apply from Google to your career site.
And that's a huge asset. And Keith's heard me talk a million times, but it is controlling the candidate experience. And as soon as it's one thing about getting people to have awareness, being aware that you have a job opportunity. But then the first thing they do to apply is they're directed away from your site, and you don't have control. So if they don't have an account on that particular site, they have to open it up. The job candidates get tired of opening all these accounts up because then they get all these emails from them. Where if they apply direct through their own website, their own career site, then they're at least controlling that end of the process. So that to me is a huge advantage. I think I saw this from you. You're pretty active as well on social and getting information out. How has or what have you seen in Indeed? I guess Google for Job impacting Indeed's market share, or vice versa.
I don't really have an answer to that. We do run a lot of different campaigns. The SWAP program is one of them. We run campaigns on LinkedIn. We run campaigns on Facebook and Twitter. There's surprisingly lots of staffing companies and SMBs are struggling to get their jobs on Google for Jobs. As I said, our real target is that 80% of the jobs which are not getting published are on Indeed or any of these job boards. So far, every single one of them that we talk to is they want all their jobs. They want to see this new opportunity that they've never seen before. It's like having a website, only having 1 or 2 pages crawled by Google as opposed to having the entire website crawled. So overall, all the campaigns we ran thus far, have been really good because the need is real. There's been a lot of excitement. As I said, it's Google for Jobs. I think I might have told you at the beginning, 73% of all job seekers start their job search on Google. That's about 100 to 200 million job searches. So every single one of them that we talk to, whether they have an ATS, whether they have a career site, whether they don't have a career site, they're all excited because it's super cheap. We are very, very cheap, which almost cost $2 to $3 per job as opposed to $250 to $300 a job. So far, it's been a positive experience on all the different marketing campaigns we have run thus far.
Oh, go ahead, Keith.
I was going to say, I think the timing of it is fantastic because you're combining what the marketplace needs along with what other organizations are lacking, and that is instant connectivity to a massive amount of potential candidates. Am I right?
That's an excellent point, Keith. That's the 100 to 200 million job searches that are happening on Google. Your jobs today, as I said, employee jobs are not being seen. Today, Google for Jobs, if you look at it, we looked at 3 million jobs for the last 1 year. 80% of the jobs that show up are primarily from LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, CareerBuilder, the top job boards. And then we have these Fortune 500 companies that took the pain because they've realized they can get significant number of candidates directly from Google. So some of the major companies have already adopted this technology and they're seeing a significant growth on their applicant flow. But still, lots of employees are still, as you said at the beginning, they're hesitant to put this code. They don't know what it takes to get all these pieces together. But once who have been posting jobs to Google, they're seeing a phenomenal growth. And especially, again, we'll talk about this in a bit. There are lots of employers, including, I can't name, but a lot of ATSs and job boards are pushing jobs. But they make so many mistakes when they push the jobs to Google for Jobs. As a result, you get nothing out of it. Even if you make, there are a lot of different techniques we have learned in terms of posting your jobs on Google. Google has this checklist. Even if you make one mistake, the job goes as spam and they never get candidates. So there's this public perception, I've been posting jobs on Google, I'm not getting candidates, versus smart employers not only pushing the jobs and making sure that their jobs are optimized. So as a result, they're getting good number of candidates.
Nice.
So from, obviously this is based on, AI, some learning. The more data you get, the more accurate it's going to be and the better off. I guess the question is, this is more of a business model to you. What's the competition? I mean, should we expect to see a whole lot of other Jobiak type companies pop up? Why aren't some of the larger ATS companies, software companies, jumping into this?
Yeah, that's a great question. Right now, today, we have no competition, but lots of ATSs and recruitment marketing platforms are starting to talk to us. They've realized there's a tremendous opportunity. And most ATSs are in the process of building this technology if they have not already done so. So they are aware of it. The competition is coming. We are the early adopters. As of today, we have no competition, but I'm pretty sure in a year from now, most of the applicant tracking systems will have this technology. But by then, we would have launched our next product, which is what I was saying before, is lots of employees, even those who are posting jobs, they are not optimized. As a result, your jobs never show up on Google for Jobs, or they show up on rank 200 or 300, which job seekers will never see it. So that's one major problem that employers are having. Is, okay, I posted 20 jobs, 10 of them I'm getting great number of applicants and views, and 10 of them I get nothing. And this has been a major problem across the board, those who are using Google for Jobs. So we are launching this new product called Job Post Optimization. Using our technology, we not only do a basic cleansing to make sure your posting is posted properly, we make sure that it is searchable and it's rankable. But we also have a premium version where we help employees write better job descriptions based on what we see in the market. It's pure machine learning. It's similar to Textio, if you guys have heard of it, but it's much more automated. It's specifically focused on Google for Jobs using this advanced machine learning. If you go with our recommendations, there's a good chance your jobs will rank higher given where you are, depending on, again, our recommendation is completely different. If you are from New York City versus Nashville, Tennessee, if your job is very generic, let's say if you're looking for accountant, in New York City, there could be 5,000 accountant. You're in a sense competing with all those companies as an employer. So we using our advanced machine learning, we recommend certain changes to the description and the posting so that even in New York City, you rank higher. So that's a product we are launching in a couple of weeks, end of March. Again, all the employees who are using our platform, especially enterprise companies, are willing to pay a significant premium for this. So we are very excited about it. That's really going to help all of employers to get good qualified candidates using Google for Jobs.
That's fascinating, and again, I've been writing, and in fact, I just submitted another article for the blog, and again, it's all about search engine marketing, and we've had a couple guests. We've certainly had opened the year with Kevin Grossman from the Talent Board, who just released all their new data and the importance of recruitment marketing and search engine optimization is a key point of that. And, that's just not been in the HR's toolbox, to date. So with that, I'm fascinated by what you're offering, because obviously right now it seems to be done manually. Will this be taking the current job listing and rewriting it, or will it just be optimizing, the text for, keywords and, to fit into the Google algorithm? I mean, how creative is this tool going to be?
That's a good question. So we have 3 different offerings on this. So there's a basic cleansing. As I said, almost significant number of jobs are not optimized. So we have this 9-step process where we make sure, for example, a lot of applicant tracking systems, including major ones, when they post these jobs, they make like basic mistakes. In the job title, they put in the company name and the location. Sometimes they even put it's full-time benefits. Google doesn't like that. When they want job title, and same thing with location. Sometimes people forget Detroit. If you don't put Michigan, Google doesn't like that. So the basic things that you have to do to get your jobs even searchable. So that's the basic cleansing we do. Not only like company, location. Company is another big one that we found out. If you're not registered with Google, if you're not part of their knowledge card, if your company Google doesn't find your company at all, even if you're pushing thousands of jobs, you're not searchable. So, and also even if you're a popular company and if you don't give the full company name, like example, ABS versus ABS Industries, if you don't pass as ABS Industries, but if you give company name as ABS, you won't be searchable either. So Google is very, very particular about the schema. So what we do for all our posting, we do the basic cleansing to make sure that you're searchable. That's our initial offering. It's free for all our customers. The next one is it's more about using machine learning, using keywords without having to change any of your job description or job title. We generate these machine learning based keywords. We append them to the job description so that you rank higher. Again, the keywords we generate is again heavy ML based, and it's based on the city and the location, the competition, the number of jobs that are out there. So that's our second offering. The third one, again, which we'll announce pretty soon, it's still not public yet, but the third one allows you to change certain aspects. You could change if you want to. Not everyone is willing to change the job description, but we have different recommendations to change the title or specific skills. It depends from employer to employer if they want to, but they don't necessarily have to use the third option. They could go with the basic cleansing and the keyword approach. You still have a good chance of ranking higher, but we are seeing some employers are willing to change the titles and the job descriptions so that they could rank higher. So we have all these three options. We'll announce more details. It's a big product. It's kind of groundbreaking, to be honest. I think this is going to take us to the next level. So we'll have more details on this by end of March.
You're more than welcome to announce that on our show if you'd like.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Venkat, you mentioned the knowledge card, or the knowledge graph, and I'm not. HR definitely doesn't know what that is. In fact, 70% of companies across the country don't know what that is because they haven't claimed them yet. That was I released an ebook. It's probably about 6 weeks ago now. About Google My Business, and that involves Google Posts. But you have to have your knowledge card. You have to have Google My Business set up. And I just want to clarify this. So you're saying that if a company posts their job and they do it correctly, I mean, they do it and it gets picked up. They do it through Jobiak or their career board, and they use schema or whatever. And it gets searched and indexed by Google. If the knowledge graph is not filled out properly, then you're saying it will affect how it gets ranked.
Absolutely, especially if a candidate is looking for a specific job title without putting the company name. More likely 90% of the time the job will never show up unless you specifically say I'm looking for a developer position at Microsoft, and then you will show up. But if you do not have a knowledge card with Google, pretty much you're not going to get any candidates or views.
Wow. Another reason. Good plug. Thanks for the plug for Google My Google Business book.
It's true. Now, where do you see as being, like, what's the aha moment for some of the companies that you've talked with where they basically say, we don't have a choice. We need to take action. What do you see coming from the marketplace that's generating the activity on your end?
It's predominantly that 80% of the jobs. That's what most employers are excited about. They're used to using job boards, so they're getting candidates. They're used to spending that money. Their budgets are all set. Our selling point is that 80% of the jobs where they're not actively advertising. So that's where they're excited about. Now they're able to get candidates for all of them. On top of it, our solution is pretty easy. They don't have to put up any code or any schema or touch their servers. And large-scale companies, now we build this new feature. They could give us an XML feed of 5,000 jobs every night. We get all 5,000 of them on Google for Jobs. So that's never been done before. Jobs are not used to getting traction. As I said, that 18 to 20% is the key. The remaining 80% is where we are tapping in. I think that's where Google is going to dominate the marketplace.
So Venkat, we're coming up. Again, these always move remarkably fast. We got about 4 minutes or so left. Where do you? I mean, if we have you back, and I'd love to do that, and hopefully it's sooner than next February. But if we're back February, the second Wednesday next year, are we still going to be talking about Google for Jobs, or is it going to evolve? What do you think is going to be? I mean, where is this going?
Yeah, I think it's a slow start. I think it's intentional. Google is in it for a long game. So they're focusing on going live across the globe. It's only live in about 100 countries. But once they are live, I'm sure they're going to start focusing on Google for Jobs. And right now, lots of, as I said, employees are starting to get used to it. But pretty soon, a year from now, everybody is going to talk about Google for Jobs, and companies like iCIMS, they're all integrating closely with Google for Jobs so that apply process is going to become easy. So 2-3 years from now, my prediction is if you're a job seeker, you don't have to leave Google for Jobs. You click apply and boom, the buck stops there. I think that's going to be the next major thing, so that everyone can just apply from Google without having to even go to career sites, without having to go to job boards. And they are working on building these deep integrations with the ATS, because Google could take your resume once and then you keep applying and apply, and everywhere your resumes go there. So I think it's just the beginning. I wrote a blog about it. Job boards are going to be in deep trouble. Google is here to disrupt the entire job search industry. I think the reason they got into this is they want to change the recruitment process for both candidates and employers. I feel like this is very, very similar to travel industry. They're starting to dominate travel industry. They started slow, and Google for Jobs is in the same way. I think it's only going to get better and better as we move forward.
Excellent. Again, lots of questions, but everybody's going to have to stay tuned with that involvement. But that's great to hear, because Google obviously dominates search. Between that and between their search and YouTube, they got 90% of all searches start there. And again, where video is going to go. So a lot more things to talk about, but we're just about out of time. How can I've mentioned your website a couple times, but what's the best way if someone has questions for you, clients, companies, ATS software companies? What's the best way to get a hold of you?
Best way to go to jobiak.ai. That's our website. Try it out for free. Anyone can post 3 jobs. But if you have questions, we do have a contact us. We generally get back to you within a few minutes. We also have a Drift bot chat. You could chat live if you have any questions. So everything is on jobiak.ai. That's where you start.
Excellent. Yeah, and I can tell you, I've used your chat. I've gone up a few times just to test it, and they're very knowledgeable, very fast, and one time they didn't have an answer, and they got it for me. So I'll give you a test that chat is the way to go. Chatbots for sure. Any final words, Venkat?
Thank you for having me. We are really excited about this new product which we are launching end of March. That's going to add significant value. I think that's going to be groundbreaking. It's never been done. So lots of our employees are really excited about it. So stay tuned. It's coming end of March 31st.
Yeah, and thank you. I'm really excited about that. I've been preaching that motto for 3 years. Wrote a book about it, and so can't wait to see what you guys are doing. Keith, any final comments?
No, just super thank you, Venkat, for coming on the show and sharing your story. I think it's yet another arrow in the quiver for companies to try to figure out how they're going to find their next good candidates. And part of the projects I've been working on is really helping people come to terms with the idea that if they can't figure out how to get people now, they're going to have a hard time having leaders later. And so I find it. I think it's a great way to act fast and get your company's open positions in front of as many people as possible. Congratulations on the success. More to come.
Thank you, guys. Thanks a lot for having me.
Yeah, thank you, too, and thanks for helping us have another great show. You've been listening to the Geeks, Geezers, and Googleization show. We're always interested in hearing what's on your mind. Let us know what you're doing. If you're interested in being a guest or a sponsor or just sharing a few thoughts, call us, send a request. Visit our website at the THEGGG-show.live. That's the GGG-show.live. You can connect with Keith or myself on LinkedIn and Twitter. Let us know what's on your mind. Thanks again to JobVite and Success Performance Solutions. And don't forget to join us next week on Wednesdays, 1 p.m. Eastern Time on W4CY.com. Or listen to our podcast on iHeart, iTunes, Google Play, and hopefully up to 35 other ones over the next few months. Until next episode, this is Ira Wolf and Keith Campagna on the Geeks, Geezers, and Googleization Show. Don't let the shift hit your plans.